LA2M folks here. We got a couple over here, guy back there, right up front. Okay, good. Well, welcome everybody. We do meet LA2M, just so you know, LA2M meets every Wednesday. We just took off a break in the summer, and we don't meet on Christmas. Yeah, but we meet here every week. We're a 501c3 educational nonprofit. So LA2M is member funded, and if you're a corporation, you can sponsor us. We have sponsors. Kevin Packer and Foresight Group is a sponsor. Women's WXW is actually a sponsor. You know, so we do get supported from businesses, which is wonderful. Okay, but also individuals, and it is free to attend. So anyone can come. If you want lunch, that's $10. Menus are on the table, and you pay your servers at Conor O'Neill's. The $10 includes your food, a drink, and tip. And you can always tip more if you want. I'm sure they don't mind. But to cover our expenses, we pass the hat. LA2M has some hard costs. We suggest $3 to $5 if you have it to throw it in the hat. And Stacy's our treasurer, so she's going to pass the hat. Thank you, Stacy.
Thank you.
And
sorry, Carter.
Let's see. We have some exciting things coming up. Our sponsor, yes. We'll get to our sponsor in a second. We have some exciting things coming up. We just booked a date for October 1st. Speaker John U. Bacon, has anybody heard of him? Okay, he wrote the book Fourth and Long. He wrote another book about Michigan's, I forget what it's called. He wrote a book about Bo Schembechler. I mean, this guy's very tied in with the University of Michigan football, and he's great. He's on NPR a lot, if you listen to NPR, and he always tells these heartwarming stories. So I think the guy is wonderful. He's an incredible speaker. He has a new book called Fourth and Long, which is about the Big Ten and the football. Football. So if anyone likes football, you should come. If you like Michigan, if you like football, that covers a lot of people, you should come. And then if you just like big crowds and networking, you should come, because I think Johnny Bacon will bring out a big crowd. He's actually speaking at TEDx Detroit on October 2nd. So we moved the date to a Tuesday. So be aware, in 2 weeks we're meeting on a Tuesday because of the TEDx Detroit conflict, which is on Wednesday. And a lot of us will be at TEDx Detroit. So that's coming up. But without further ado, we have a sponsor this month. Kevin Packer from the Foresight Group, a great printing company. And Kevin, you want to say a few words?
Sure. Thanks, Eric. Again, happy to be the sponsor for September for LA2M. It's a great privilege. I am Kevin Packer from Foresight Group. We are a print communications company. Often get asked, what's the group? What does that mean? We have several divisions that work separately or together as needed. Offset printing, digital printing, mailing services, display and signage, which is some literature on the table about that if you want more information. Also specialty advertising and promotional products. So we cover quite the gamut there. And with the focus being display and signage, I like to do show and tell. So I have a sample here of the kind of things that we can produce with that equipment. Lots of other things that can be done, from wall graphics, floor graphics, to pavement graphics. Goes on and on. They can be large, they can be small, they can be mid-sized, like this piece here. But it's always a matter of focus on what the need is, and think about the application to get something that makes sense. You know, I saw a blog post this past week about email, and it caught my attention because it basically said, email is dead. And I'm like, oh, ha ha. But it got my attention because in the printing business, we've been hearing that for a long time. Print is dead. I mean, to the point where we actually have in production a promotional piece that plays on that theme. But what the point of this was, and it was from, I think, Campaigners, an email marketing company, and they had all kinds of statistics cited, but the gist of it, it was predicated on the changes with Gmail and inbox, and people being concerned and alarmed that was going to impact open rates and the effectiveness of their campaigns or whatever. And what the statistics were showing was that for companies that were doing it right to start with, that had good content, had good open rates, their open rates stayed pretty much the same. In fact, some cases improved slightly. The companies that didn't have good open rates to start with saw noticeable declines. The takeaway on that to me is that it's all about doing it right from a marketing standpoint, and that applies whether it's email, print, any other medium that you choose. It's the right marketing procedures. You know, it's offer, it's audience, and it's content and relevance. So I passed that one. I thought it was interesting. Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin. So we all know now we're going to go for a Protean goes to that man with the guitar. All right. So, without further ado, we'll just give you an idea of format for some of those of you who are new. Our speaker will talk for approximately 30 minutes. There may be time for Q&A. At 12:45, we get to introduce ourselves, so we get to pass the mic and go around the whole room, and you get to say who you are and what your company is, and if you're looking for something. And then we always end at 1 o'clock. So that's an idea of format. Feel free to live tweet. If you want to tweet this event, use the hashtag LA2M. You can also check in on Foursquare at LA2M, all right, for all you social media people out there. And so today's speaker, we're really lucky. We have a great guy who I know from a variety of ways. I mean, he's a Spartan. He's a talented entrepreneur that I've been watching his rise to success. So he ran Detroit Labs, which was a mobile app development company, part of the Dan Gilbert companies down in Detroit, and a very interesting story there. And now he is the chief technology officer at a company called Protean. Did I say that right?
Yep.
Protean, which is kind of a credit card all-in-one. So Henry has been in the startup business. He's seen lots of things happen. He's experienced them in his own company. And today he's going to talk about 10 things he wishes he knew before he started a company. So let's give Henry a big round of applause. And Henry, try that one.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Hi guys, I'm Henry Balanon. I'm a co-founder and chief technology officer for a company called Protean, like Derek had mentioned. Thanks for having me. But I wanted to kind of dish out advice. I'm probably at that age now where I should start doing that. Maybe like 5 years ago I wasn't quite qualified, but maybe now I am. I'm in my 30s, so it's pretty old. But if you want to tweet me, this is my Twitter name, and a little bit about my background. I did computer science at Michigan State University. I worked for a few years too, so I actually worked as a software developer for Lockheed Martin, working on software that landed airplanes. So if there was some sort of terrorist attack and for some reason the United States, you needed to land aircraft really, really fast because something was happening, I created software to help with that for small and medium-sized aircraft. Also worked for another company, and then after that I started my first company a few years ago called Bickbot. And at the time I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know anything about raising money or about how to scale a business. So what ended up happening is I bootstrapped it. Bootstrapping means that you don't take any venture funding, you kind of just take your savings and you try to create a company from it. I did that. It was an iPhone app company, so when the iPhone first came out and they started allowing apps, I branded myself as an iPhone app developer, and something really cool happened. When you start really niching yourself or branding yourself as something, the opportunities become immense. So I heard a very interesting saying, which was, if you're trying to be known for everything, you're going to be known as nothing. So I really took that to heart, and I really just focused on kind of just that niche for mobile apps. And what ended up happening, even though I was just a one-person shop, I got calls from huge companies, including Stryker Medical, who said that they needed an app. And of course, I went to the meeting. How big is the team? I got like 4 or 5 developers back there. but really it was just me. But the challenge with Bickbot was I made enough money to work maybe like 4 projects a year. It was a nice lifestyle business, but I never made enough money to hire people. My next venture was actually venture funded. So Detroit Venture Partners, one of their first investments was into me and 3 other guys, and we started Detroit Labs. So right now, Detroit Labs is located downtown, makes mobile apps, kind of the stuff I was doing with Bickbot, but except at a larger scale. So it's about 40 people now. We do apps for GM, and we also do the Domino's Pizza apps, which, when I was last there, was generating probably $4 million a week in pizza revenue just through the apps themselves. And then recently, last May, I left to start a new company called Protean, which I could explain what that is real quick. So at Protean, we're making hardware. So we're making what's called the glass card. We're able to take a card, that's hard to see, able to fit a Bluetooth chip, a battery, and a reprogrammable magnetic stripe. And what it is, instead of you carrying all your credit cards, debit cards, ATM cards, you carry this one card, and you can change what that card is using your phone. Meaning that 1 second it could be your American Express Platinum card, and the next minute it could be your ATM card, and then the next minute it could be your Macy's card. And that's the general gist of it. So we just closed our first round of funding for about $3 million. That was about three weeks ago, and we started ramping up the team, and we're building this. So that's a little bit of my background. I'm going to go right now into just kind of things that I've learned just going through this, things I wished I knew when I was starting. This entire startup thing has been a big learning process. It still is for me. But there are a few things that, based on the experiences and mistakes that I've made, I've been able to kind of distill down to a few anecdotes. So the first one is idea as a byproduct. Meaning, when I was younger, I thought that to start a business, you had to have a good idea, and you can't start unless you have that good idea. And I kept going around saying, I don't have the right idea yet. But really, it ended up being wrong. And what ended up happening is I don't have the right people yet. There are a lot of good ideas out there, but what really makes people successful is the team that you build around you. So instead of thinking, okay, the idea is the company, I think now the byproduct of a good team is a good company and a good product. So if you get the right 3 co-founders in the room, it doesn't matter what the idea is, it's going to be successful. And the idea is really secondary. Another piece I wish I had learned is that there are 2 different types of companies that are valued the most. So when we're going around fundraising, both Detroit Labs and Detroit Labs and Protean, we saw kind of a pattern as far as people determining if what you're doing is going to be successful or if there's going to be a potential for success. And it comes down to these 2 sentences. It's either, hey, holy crap, I've never seen that and seen it done so well, or holy crap, I can't believe how many users you're getting. Which boils down into much smaller terms here. You either need to make never before seen technology and traction. Not to say that there are other things that will make a successful business, but these are the ones that tend to have the hockey stick growth. The ones that are super scalable, the ones that are more than the 5 people working on client work and slowly gaining revenue. These are the trades, one or the other, in order to build a huge scalable business. As far as never before seen technology, I'll give you some examples. One is Nest. So it's the thermostat with Wi-Fi in it that you could, wherever you are, you could be on the road, you could adjust the temperature of your house using your phone. That's one of those holy crap, I didn't know you could do that. And then an example of a company that gets traction that doesn't have that high attack at all is Craigslist and eBay. So Craigslist is, it's probably one of the dirtiest sites. It's really low technology, but there are so many users on it, it makes it bulletproof. And an example of both is actually Google. So Google started out as a search engine that was way beyond, 10 times better, beyond anything anyone's ever seen before. After that, they got so many users that they ended up with a lot of traction. So they had the 1-2 punch, and for the foreseeable future, they're going to be a company that survives for a very, very long time. Another thing that I learned, just going out and raising money and just building a business and getting people to follow you, is you see this a lot. You see people with no product, track record, or users, just kind of the business plan. And I've gone that route too, trying to take some of my ideas and make it a reality. And I ended up falling flat on my face a lot. And the reason is, if you don't have a product, or if you don't have a track record for success personally, or if you don't have users using your product, you don't have a lot of belief from people. You don't have any belief from investors and potential team members. So what ends up happening is this. You have this great idea, you're trying to get, say, a software developer to join you, and they won't. You have this business plan, you're taking it to people who invest money, and they won't invest in you. They don't have the evidence that they need in order to believe that you're going to be successful. So the bottom line here, it's impossible to raise money, almost impossible. It's nearly impossible to raise money or find co-founders without any of these. So find a way to subsidize any of these. Either build a product with your own money somehow, or find the users, or have some sort of track record, and that'll make things a lot easier to raise money and get a company going and recruit people. And this particular thing here just is more for software, as far as being the most effective with your partners and your developers and your designers. But there are two ways for design and development to save a lot of money. So if you have a software idea and you want to save a ton of money, you got a quote from some developer, they said it's going to cost $20,000 to make. Well, you can probably cut that down to about $10,000 if you have these things here. For design, it's a design brief. And for development, it's wireframes. So the bottleneck for both design and development is a lack of clarity. So what ends up happening with designers and software developers is that you go back and forth trying to figure out all the gray pieces of what you want, figuring out kind of what the look and feel for a brand is with design. So you want to put together a design brief, which if you Google that, it'll give you really, really good guidelines. A design brief includes aspirational images, branding pillars, what other brands do you admire as far as what you want your brand to reflect. And then for development, you want wireframes. So if I go back here, this is what a wireframe looks like. It's every single screen on the piece of software and where every single button goes. And it doesn't take a lot of expertise to know what this is. If you could come in with a first draft of something like this, you could easily save 40 or 50% of the cost for software development. Another piece, so when I first started Bickbot, I actually had a co-founder with me. It didn't last too long, probably about a month or so. But I ended up giving up some equity because I didn't know what I was doing. He left after a month. So then, after reading through Google, things like that, and getting mentors and really figuring things out, here's how if you're starting a venture with other people, how do you make everyone kind of work at similar levels, at high capacity for a while? And it's obvious to me now, but it might not be obvious to others, so I'll dish it out to everyone. But everyone should vest, even the founders 4+ years. Now what vesting means is that you have a certain percentage of equity, so say it's me and Derek, and we're 50-50. And vesting over 4 years means that I get 25% of that 50% after that first year, another 25% every single year until I get that full 50% after 4 years. That way, if someone you're teaming up with decides to leave the company after 6 months because they, I don't know, wanted to go do something else or had some cash flow issues or whatever it might be, then they get very, very little equity. And to go even further as far as details, you want what's called a 1-year cliff, meaning that unless they've been there for a full 12 months and working with you for a full 12 months, they don't get anything. So after that first year, they get 25% of what they're owed. And then every month after that, they get a whatever percentage after that until it's 100% after 4 years. So that way everyone works hard for at least 4 years. Oh, and oh, by the way, with Protean, I'm also vesting, so everyone's vesting.
Every good day, bro.
What?
Can we interrupt you?
Yeah.
I've got a question.
Yeah.
Within that 4-year vesting, do you ever run into a situation where the co-founders don't seem to be putting in equal effort?
Yes. So you do get that, but as I don't know, you also have a board of directors. So even though you're top management, you're not really top management if you're structuring your company correctly. So you would also have like a 3 or 5 person board of directors, one representing the investors, one representing the company, and one neutral. And if there's something that is like severely wrong, then the board of directors, their fiduciary duty is to make sure that the company's taken care of. So they would probably do something about it if it got too severe. So yeah, another tip, make friends with your board of directors so they don't kick you out. Okay, so next piece I wish I knew is, you hear it all the time, never give up, or always keep going, things like that. And for me, it's been bad advice. And I actually think the opposite. I don't think we give up enough. And this is not just with startups. I mean, this is with jobs and relationships. Most people stay too long. They hold on to the cards too long. I mean, no one ever says, hardly ever says, I wish I stayed at my previous job longer, or I wish I stayed in my previous relationship longer. People say the opposite, like, wow, why didn't I move on fast enough? I mean, the only limited thing that we have is time. So if you know you're holding crappy cards, you need to fold. So you need to fold the crappy cards. And it gets really sticky because sometimes you're doing something and it's going at a decent trajectory. So it's not really going bad, but it's not going good either. So your trajectory, you're kind of progressing, but you're kind of not. Am I drawing that right? Yep. You just got to think of what your life trajectory is. And if this is not good enough, if the end of this trajectory here is not good enough, and you really want to be here, then you need to change your trajectory. And you got to learn how to kind of see that too. Another thing I learned is that risk is a muscle. What does that mean? So people, when I start new companies, things like that, they say to me or anybody like, man, I wish I could do that. I wish I had the courage to do that. That's such a huge risk. I'm glad, someone's able to do that. But really that's just a perception. There's a perception that there are huge risks being taken. But the reality is this. Someone who takes a perceived risk has actually been taking smaller risks this entire time. So by the time they take this whatever huge risk or it looks like a huge risk, it actually doesn't, it's not perceived by that person as a huge risk. So for me, when I left Detroit Labs to do this, I didn't see this as a huge risk. And as a more concrete example, I thought to myself, okay, well, say this crashes and burns. I'll have a lot of experience in the financial technology arena in building hardware and manufacturing it in Shenzhen, and also raising a huge round of funding, being responsible to investors, like all these other things. And I said, you know what, if this crashes and burns, I'm going to have this skill set that no one else has, and that's all I need to know. I'll be very highly employable. And other people don't see it like that. So, as an example, on the other side here is, I have actually I'll tell the story later. I actually have that in the future here. But I mean, risk is a muscle. So it's not about taking huge risks all the time. It's about taking calculated risks more frequently than the larger risks. That way you get used to it, and that way you don't feel like you're being risky. I've but over the past few years, learned how to give feedback, and I continue to get better at it. But after learning it, it's been very helpful for me with other people, especially when you're leading teams. The words that I like to use are perception and data points, meaning this. When I was at Detroit Labs, and our CEO, Paul, needed to give me feedback. He started off, hey, Henry, the perception is you're not doing X very well. And I would say, yeah, but I do A, B, C. He's like, it doesn't matter. He's like, this is the perception of it. Doesn't matter how hard you're working over here. But this is the perception, true or not. But then he said, but perception is reality, so you need to fix that perception. And there's no arguing with a person's perception, so they really can't argue. And the word data points is also something I picked up from Paul from Detroit Labs. He would give me feedback. He's like, you know what? I need to give you data points. Data point A, B, and C. They would be critiques. Data point A, B, and C. Do whatever. It's not good. It's not bad. I just want to let you be aware of it. Do whatever you want to do with those data points. And that was his way of delivering some more critiques and feedback. And my favorite, and this doesn't really fit into the perception and data points, but I was in a board meeting with Josh Linkner, and he actually gave me some feedback, but it was one of those feedbacks that made you feel good, but really the message was you should do this differently. And that feedback was this. We were having lunch, and I asked for feedback. I said, hey, look, what could I do? What could I be doing better? I'm moving on to Protean. What have you noticed that I need to change? And he's like, Henry, you're really super smart. Made me feel good. He's like, and because you're so smart, you figure things out way ahead of everyone. Within the first one or two sentences, made me feel really good. He's like, and that's why you probably take out your phone, and during board meetings you look at your phone and you're really distracted because you're so smart. So his actual message was, you're very rude. You look at your phone when you're having conversations with people, but he delivered it in a way that made you feel decent about it. So he's really good at giving feedback, and I try to learn from people who do that. The first 8 hires are critical in any company. So the first team members, 1 through 8, are wildly different than team member number 30. Number 1 through 8, you want them interested in learning and working hard and building something from nothing. One of the first hires that we made, it's kind of a lower level hire. But the first thing, we offered her two things, like higher salary, lower equity, or lower salary, higher equity. She took the lower salary, higher equity in the company for the options, and then followed that up with, if I want to buy more, how do I do that? Which is the kind of attitude you're looking for in your first aid. Now, contrastly, team member number 30, and it's not good or bad. It's just different priorities. It's just a different order. But team member number 30, or as it gets increasingly higher, the thing that becomes more and more important becomes, salary, stability, benefits. And, frankly, you don't join a startup if that is a huge amount of priority for you. There was another person that we interviewed, first thing right out of the gate, we liked her, but then we started talking like compensation. First thing out of this person's mouth was like, hey, like I make X, I can't make less than $5,000 under that, and I need this, that, and this because I want to buy a house, which is nothing wrong with that at all. But that person is probably better as and that person was probably a good team member too, but not first aid. Probably 30, maybe 200, maybe 2,000, whatever it might be. So look out for that. Team members 1 through 8, look out for their priorities. Two hardest things in startups is raising money and recruiting, and unfortunately it comes at the worst time too. It comes right at the very beginning, because you have to convince someone to give you millions of dollars, or if I'm recruiting you, I have to say, hey, I would like for you to leave your full-time job to come join me, making nothing, and maybe making nothing for a little while until we find money. And by the way, I don't have any proof that this is going to work. I have little to no proof that this is going to work. And so that's what makes raising money and recruiting hard. It's because you're at a point where people don't believe in you. There are 3 things that a CEO does, and anyone who wants to be a great CEO, these are the 3 pillars. You need to recruit and retain the best talent, drive the company vision, and make sure you don't run out of money. That's it. There are a lot of CEOs, and they're functional CEOs, and they want to get their hands dirty, things like that. But that doesn't scale a business. You just got to make sure you surround yourself with the right people, and you got to watch those numbers very, very closely. Because startups die, for the most part, when they run out of money, too. So you can try as many things as you want until that money's gone. And you want to maximize your chances by having the best people. As a corollary to this, your best developer, your marketer, if you have a good software developer or marketer, they're not the best CTO or CMO. Because the CTO and CMO also do this, except they do it in a way that's for marketing or for technology. They still focus on that. So you want to hire team builders for your C-suite. People who have the discipline, but also can lead a team of people and recruit them. And second to the last one is, get an office manager as the first non-founder. And it might seem minor, but there's a lot of low ROI things that you could be doing in the startups, and they're really fun. But especially if you have money, but especially since you're running out of time and runway. I mean, time is really precious. This was actually who here, does everyone know Doug Somm here? Okay. Well, Doug Somm, he raised money from Google Ventures, has a company called Duo Security. But we asked him, he's one of our advisors, when should we hire this person to do these things? And we were thinking like 13, 14, and he said, it should be your next hire. He's like, you can't waste time doing payroll, building desks, taking out the trash, sending rejection letters, finding places to stay in Denmark, which is very specific to what I'm doing. Ship something from here to there, get lunch and go to Costco and all these other things. you need to be focused on building the business, doing high ROI stuff, some medium, but definitely not the lower ROI type things. Before I get to the last thing in questions, if you are interested in hearing about the launch of this glass card, the Echo card here, you can sign up at this URL right here, which you can find it somewhere on the site maybe. And then my last piece of advice here is, all advice is right and it's wrong. So this is advice that I've distilled based on my own beats, and it might not necessarily work for you guys. But there's a story as far as there's a elephant in the room, like this story is not real. There's a elephant in the room, and you put 5 blind guys in there, and you ask them what an elephant is. They go and one holds the tail, and says, "Oh, it's like brushy, and it kind of feels hairy," and that person is right. And someone else says, "Oh, it has a long trunk," and that person is right. And the other one's like, "Oh, it has a really, really fat leg." And although all of those things aren't elephants, they're all right. But everyone kind of knows the context of what they live. And so anything that you've seen here is just happens to be from my own beat. So with that, I will take questions.
First of all, thank you so much, Henry. It's great to hear that advice and information. When you talked earlier in the presentation about, if you don't have a product, but you want to get a track record or start getting a proven track record, what are some ways to do that if you don't have a product or you don't have that idea yet? How can you sell yourself as a proven track record, or what are some things you can do to kind of build that portfolio or resume to get to that product or idea?
So I like to climb the I'll call it the startup ladder. If you want to be like a founder of a company, I would do this. So you would start probably, not you, but just if I were doing it again, I would start like this. I would become employee 20 of a company that becomes successful, and then become an employee 12, and then 5, and then 3. So that's kind of the path that I tell kind of younger students, things like that. Like, you're not going to know a lot of things. You can't just come out of school and start a company. No one's going to believe you. It's very rare. The more probabilistic way to do it is to join others and start climbing that leadership ladder that way.
I'd like to ask a follow-up to that. I teach a lot of students. And so concretely, if I was going to tell a student to come in as employee 20 in a successful company, would that be something like getting an internship in a startup?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. So we actually have a person who was an intern at Detroit Labs, goes to Michigan now. Started off as one of our first interns. Next year joined Path, which is a startup in Silicon Valley that is might not seem big, but it's a huge deal out there. And then joined Apple last summer. So he's been kind of climbing his ladder that way. And eventually, I know his trajectory. He's going to start a company eventually too. But he's on his path right now.
Thank you. I'm going to start with perception and feedback. Really great. I'm a 4-year startup company right now. You're right. People have said, "Are you crazy? You're quitting a well-paying job, stable, everything." But once you get into that phase, you want to do it. I want to elaborate on risk, which is equivalent to muscle building. You're right. We keep pushing weight. The same thing is we keep taking risk. The risk, which is 20 pounds for someone else, is 45 pounds for me, 60 pounds for her.
Yeah.
So by the time we reach the 300 pounds, we're like, we have already done this.
Yeah.
So that's a great point you did. The one thing I have a question, you said not always be persistent. If it's not working, just leave it.
Yeah.
Do you really agree with that?
I do in the fact that and it's personal within everyone. Like I think everyone has a life trajectory, and you kind of know within yourself where you need to be, and there needs to be some sort of foresight that the path you're on is either on track or off track. And when you're off track, it's not persist, like never persist on anything. It means that if you're pushing in the wrong direction, you need to be able to fold the cards. So, I don't know, does that make sense?
Well, can I just add one
Yeah.
more? I mean, when I'm pushing in the wrong direction, I know my path is going to be a dead end. But if I'm pushing in the right direction, it's just that the initial results are not working out. But I know, like you said, you're right. It's all about flow charts, it's all about wireframe model, and once you know the theory,
Yeah.
your aim is how do you put all the working ingredients to make the theory work.
Yeah.
So when you know your flow chart is correct, technically or theoretically, do you still think that I'm going to quit after some time because I'm not getting the right yielded result?
No, I mean, you should push towards the right things, right? So there are just a lot of examples, just time and time again. Maybe you have an employee that you wish you got rid of a long time ago, but you're too scared to do it. There's just a lot of things where people are afraid to kind of fold the cards, or people are afraid to jump jobs, or people are afraid to, leave their significant others. So it's more of a, push in the right direction, but most of the time people aren't. So they feel in their heart that it's the wrong way. So, yeah, I don't know. Did I answer that?
I can understand what you're saying. Yeah. I mean, I believe in you. It's just that you did emphasize your tone of voice just went high on that statement. And I'm
Yeah.
like, are you really standing by the statement, or is it situation-based statement?
It's always situational.
Yes.
But
thank you.
for the most part, people don't fold enough.
Indeed.
So,
Any more questions? Good time for one more.
There we go.
All right.
Thanks. Henry, it's Michael.
Hey, Michael.
You've been through a few of these, given what you've given today. In looking at what's the right time to let everybody know who you are, you've done this probably out of your back room, out of your bathroom, out of your car, out of somebody's warehouse. Now you're down, what you guys are doing is down here in downtown Ann Arbor. What's the right time, in your opinion, as you go through the growth of a company like this, very small, to put your name, your face, and who you guys are, and location? What's that sweet spot?
what's an example of what you're?
You guys are here in a building with a storefront
Yeah.
versus 3 guys in back offices that don't ever see each other with, rats running through the building.
Okay, I understand. Locally, you should start sooner rather than later, because that helps with recruiting. You want to get your name out there as far as, okay, you need to recruit a team. So that usually happens on the local level. As far as, get out there, get the PR, and, you're going to go national. You want to do it, it's tempting to do things, in a big bang, big, huge campaign. But there are a lot of pieces that need to happen first. A lot of testing of your product. When your product's ready, within probably 3 to 6 months before actual launch, is when you should start getting out there, talking to influencers, starting to prepare for the onslaught of media. At least that's going to be our approach. So we're really heads down on the product. You don't want to announce something too early, nationally with a huge campaign.
All right, let's give Henry a big round of applause. Very insightful talk, wonderful talk. And yeah, the elephant, right? Sometimes he feels rough, sometimes he has a long trunk. I mean, this is really good advice. But as Henry pointed out, and you brought up the question, we don't always know. You gotta hopefully have some smart advisors, I would say. I think that's always a good thing. So now we're going to do introductions. So it's 12:45. So briefly, we're going to go around the room, and you want to give us your name, your company, and if you're looking for something, if you're looking to hire somebody or some good news to share, you can share it, and then pass the microphone to your buddy, and we'll get around the room in just a couple minutes.
Hello again, Kevin Packard, Foresight Group.
of Events at the University of Michigan, Offices of Medical Development and Alumni Relations, so it's a really long business name. But actually the reason I'm here today is with WXW, and in a little bit we'll tell you about it. It's pretty exciting.
Hi, I'm Amy Ma. I have been attending meetings here from the beginning. I have been in Ann Arbor for a long time and attending all these business meetings and presentations. I have to say that this is today's talk was one of the most refreshing talk I've heard.
Thank you.
Thank you. I come from Hong Kong, and recently, this might be of interest to you, there is a new incubator in Hong Kong that has that's at the Citibank headquarters, the third floor of the building. And it is a business incubator for basically a lot of new IT companies, and it has capacity for about 400 new entrepreneurs, and it's about half full, and is connected to a whole network of investors, very seasoned venture capitalists and so on. So you might want to check that out. The website of that company is cocoon.net, and they also have a lot of stuff in Crunch, TechCrunch, Forbes, and YouTube as well. I am looking for probably three webmasters for various products with compelling stories in green buildings and health food and jewelry. Anybody who's interested can contact me after this. Thank you.
Hi there, Lori Byron. I am here, as Bree mentioned, to tell you a little bit about WXW. It stands for Women's Exchange of Washtenaw. However, there are some cool guys who have come to a few of our events. WXW is a group that was started 6 or 8 years ago by two local business owners, Carrie Hensel of Inner Circle Media and Deborah Howard of Powers Marketing. And it's designed to be a place for women where you can gather. A lot of the members own their own company, but then there are a lot who work within an organization. So we are having a really big day-long conference in October 10th. So anyone who is interested in coming can see us for some flyers about it. But it's different from some conferences because you're not going to sit and be talked at the whole day. You're really going to participate and share a lot of the struggles that you have in business and even in life. Do you want to okay. All right, thanks so much.
Hi, I'm Tasha Moore, and I'm Director of Agency Operations with Martopia Public Relations Group, which is headquartered here in Ann Arbor. And we are looking to hire additional account coordinators with a minimum of 2 years public relations experience. And also we're open to bringing on some more interns at our location here in Ann Arbor. So if anyone has an interest, just please let me know.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Dave Murray, the big guy at Good Stuff Studios, Real Bold Branding. The best thing you can do for your business is not suck at what you do. The second best thing you can do for your business is to get it branded. And so what we do is we help entrepreneurs and small business owners brand their stuff. So if you need any of that help, come to us. Have fun.
Hi, I'm Bud Gibson. I created the Search Marketing Program at Eastern Michigan University, and my ask is that you come to the Search Marketing Workshop November 22nd. It's our third year doing it. We have an all-new speaker lineup focused on search and social. People from leading companies, Quicken Loans. We're going to have the VP of Marketing. We're going to have Google in there. We've got graduates. We've been in business now for 6 years with this program. Our graduates have moved up working at top organizations around the area. It's only $25 if you use our LA2M discount code. So, and that gets you breakfast and lunch. And a whole half day, jumbo half day of seminar.
Hi, I'm Sally Lee. I'm search marketing student at AMU, and I'm helping Dr. Gibson to host search marketing workshop.
Hello, Dr. Thomas Blackwell, Principal Moore of Unifield International, a training development company. We're offering our clients, as we head into the holiday season, a great gift incentive idea. If you're looking for any gift incentive or motivation for your employees, touch base with me. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Dean Zampa, Association of International Marketers. I'm a businessman. We operate in the field of e-commerce, internet-based commerce, nationally and internationally. Anybody's interested in that field, we also help people start in that area. So if you're interested in that, come see me.
Hi there, my name is Ben Taub. I work for a company called DataSpace. We've been consultants for 20 years in the fields of business intelligence and analytics. I've also got a part-time gig where we're running a startup focused on web-based alerting system that alerts people when certain conditions occur in their data. So it'll send you a text or an email, you know, when sales hit a certain level or a certain sales guy's outperforming what he's supposed to be doing, or anything. It's not even sales-based. So that's my life.
Thanks again, Henry. My name is Jim Musial. I have a company called 5522 Tech, and I consult in mobile and web technology. So if you have a need for possibly creating your website to be mobile optimized, I'd love to talk to you. Again, Jim Musial, 5522 Tech. Thanks.
Hi, everybody. As you already know, I'm Stacy from Dollar Bill. So the first thing I have to think of is I've been there 25 years. So am I on the right path or am I on the wrong path? But no, I am. I'm on the right path. It's wonderful. I love all my customers. And when you do your startups, you're going to need for your business cards and your brochures. And WXW is an awesome group. I've been to that conference, so everybody should go sign up for that. And Bud, everybody should sign up for his conference because I go to that every year. Dr. Gibson, we never heard that before, do we? So everybody have a good day.
Hello everyone, my name is Manish Santa and I'm with Poison. We are an IT consulting company and we have been working towards having a security data program. This is my first meeting. Thank you for the speech and it was fun. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Roger Rayle. I sell online media for the KCB Ad Network. I'm also an account manager for Wit Media, which is a creative ad agency based in New York City. We're always looking for HTML, Flash, and WordPress developers. If you know of anyone, please contact me.
Hi, my name is Jordan Beecham. I work at Dexter Builders, and we do everything from small handyman projects all the way to designing and building entire houses. So if anybody has any questions, come to us. We do free estimates, you know, help you out with any kind of work you might need before the long mission in winter here.
I'm Mia Zhang, and I'm the CEO of bootstrapped.com, and we are based in Ann Arbor. We provide online wireless programs to companies and then to happy coaches.
I'm Becky. I'm the wellness coordinator at info.com.
We have one thing.
We are looking for a full-time intern that can assist in like marketing and various activities.
Hello, everyone. I'm Megan Crosby of the Charles Reinhardt Company. I am also the co-chair of the WXW Forum. This is going to be a life-changing experience. Do not miss your opportunity to attend this event, October 10th. I know.
Calm down here.
I'm Barb Davenport. I'm with the A2Y Chamber. We'll be starting our next leadership class in just a couple of weeks. If you've ever thought about being in a leadership program, please contact me.
I'm Bob Shannon, a longtime attendee at LA2M, very good program. I'm a CPA in this area, and I specialize in helping small companies, startup companies with their accounting, tax planning, audit representation. Also, I act as your part-time controller if you need one. You can check out my website, accountant-michigan.com.
I'm Linda Tiemann. I'm with Shoshana Technologies. We are a software company that provides scheduling, billing, and payroll for home care agencies around the country. And I don't have anything to sell or talk about, so here's Mish.
Hi, my name is Mish Sabaski. I'm here representing the Great Lakes Entrepreneurs Quest today. We are open for registration for anybody that would like to compete in our business plan competition. 3 tracks, prizes, some cash, some microloans, some of me. If you want to know more, I have a pile of business cards. Thank you.
My name is Jackie, first time here, so thanks for having me. Co-founder of a business called You Know What. We're working here out of Ann Arbor. We're a software for home energy auditors. So we're in the TechArt Accelerator here on campus right now, and we're currently looking for a developer to bring on. So, thanks.
I'm Roger Rayle. I'm a venture catalyst, and I help with a lot of networking groups around doing a lot of live streaming, recording the video, and Yeesh puts out for MEDC, puts Great Lakes Entrepreneurs Quest,
Yes.
puts out a monthly list of events for startups and entrepreneurs and businesses, and that's a really good resource to find out what's going on around. And I take that and I geocode it every month. So
Yes, he does.
yeah, so it's getting there. There's a lot of things going on, and you can kind of see it over time of all the development that's going on in Michigan right now.
Hi, I'm Shannon. I own Media Academica, a video and animation production company located here in Ann Arbor. I come to these meetups not only to hear the excellent talks, but to also to network and to let you know, all you marketers know, that video and animation services are available with me: web videos, commercials, demos, tutorials.
Hi, I'm Morgan Frankie. I'm a senior at Michigan State University. Studying advertising, and I am on my first day interning at Nginx with Laura.
Yay, welcome. Thank you. That was really interesting, and always good reminders of things we know too, which is great as well. I'm Laura Kirchner. I'm the Chief Client Officer at Nginx. And if you're wondering how you could possibly grow your business or increase membership or increase really anything, come talk to me and we can see if we can help. Thanks.
My name is Michael Kwan, a product evangelist in the mobile lifestyle world, connecting what all of you do with your device like this, whether it's text, all the content that you deal with in the real world, connecting the two with you in the real world. For those of you guys who are first-time folks, Lauren actually had said thank you for coming, welcome your first time, so I'll pass that along to those of you that you did that to me last time.
Oh, did I?
Very nice job today, and that's all I have. Thanks, so thank you.
Hi, I'm Carter Sherline from Rockman Studios, and I'm a commercial editorial and portrait photographer. And images I shoot at this meeting goes up on the group's Facebook page.
Great. So the one question I didn't ask you, Henry, and I loved your talk, by the way. I thought that was incredible advice. It's kind of neat that you're in Detroit, Ann Arbor, right? It's like, it's cool. It's very, it's good. So, question: when are we going to be able to get our little glass card?
We're going to we'll have a prototype done end of the year. Probably beta testing with a few people. Probably summer or fall next year, and release maybe next year, late sometime. Also, I'm looking for a designer.
Great. Yes, I'm Derek Merrimont, CEO of Nginx Digital Marketing. We have some new offices. We moved above Arbor Brewing Company on Washington, and there's some space in the back, a really nice space where we're renting desks. So if you know any solopreneurs that are looking to get out of the home and into a really nice office space, they should come talk to us for a desk. Talk to me. It's like $400, but it's a really nice desk and a nice conference room. And yeah, so next week, Next week I'm not going to be here. Shoot, Jim Musial is going to MC. Thank you, Jim, for doing that. But we have a great speaker. He's a good friend of mine, Chris Moritz from Low Campbell Ewald. And he's been an information architect, and he's worked in the content marketing at Campbell Ewald. He's been there for many years. He's going to talk about why he's learned to stop worrying and start enjoying client politics. So I think it should be an entertaining talk with some really good stories from what it's like in the agency world. And I'm sure it'll be great because all our speakers are great. And final round of applause for Henry, and then we'll see you all next week. Thanks for coming.
Oh, yeah.